Hey folks, little bonus video that we did record during the normal podcast over last night. We'll put it out. It's a bit of a longer topic to talk about the transfer window and silly season being officially open and what's gone on with Adidas and Morita, Leeds plans for the summer and what we can generally expect coming into an absolute minefield. So we'll have a chat with the lads around that. Speaking of seasons, we're in silly season and we got the first real slap in the face this week
we all got
of how silly season is. Not that we all got done, because I was on Joe Blackburn about this today as well, and he was like, we got done by this. And I was like, no, we did. I don't think we did get done by this, because the report on Adidas and Morita that came out was really just an interesting topic to talk about in terms of how transfer seasons go. And like I keep saying it, I have a list, and this list is getting bigger. This is every single player that Leeds been linked with since January, right? It's chunky at this point. And it's getting bigger because it's picking up speed as well. Some of the same names that are floating around. But the whole point of this list is to kind of just put it all together at the end of the season and go, these are the outlets that are saying that these are the players and these are the positions. The positions piece is to see is there a short list of positions that's coming together? These might not all be players Leeds bid on, but you might start saying, well, maybe they're on a short list. Maybe they've had a look at them, or they're, decided actually, no, that's not what we're going to move for, but they did have a look at them. So it's worth having a look from that perspective. But the one from Morita was really interesting. He didn't fit the mold of what Leeds tended to go for. I think everybody universally said that as well. 30 years of age. Yeah. He's not 26, 27. He's not 6 foot in height. He's probably not the most physical of midfielders, but an incredibly tidy footballer, very high level footballing IQ. And I thought for 2 or 3 seasons, smart bit of business if you could get him in. The outlet that linked him was Abola in Portugal, who have a really good track record and would be a very reliable source. I spoke to Andrea Russo about this as well, and we all had a bit of a look around. We should have backed off when Team Talk got involved in this, and they said they spoke to that should have been the warning sign, and the alarm went off, but back away from this story now. But it looked on paper to be very solid. It looked like it was following a timeline of progression. We were waiting on Leeds to be confirmed because that was the stumbling block. Leeds pretty much get confirmed, and it's all done and dusted. And then Graham Smith did the one thing that nobody else did, picked up the phone, rang the football club and went, any truth in this? And they were like, no, nothing. Not only was there nothing, there was no offer, no approach, no interest, was what they said. None. He's not even a player that they've retained any interest in since they looked at him last summer. So this came in and just boom. Dead.
Is there a plane on the tarmac somewhere, though? There must be a plane waiting somewhere. Yeah,
we've got to look forward to, don't we? But there was an interesting line, Gerry, that did come out about this as well, which is worth talking about. Not only the fact that Leeds were very quick to just, when someone asked them, just to go, no, not true. And Graham Smith said last year, that's the one thing you will get with this Leeds recruitment team. Not a whole lot leaks out, although it has increased over the last 2 years, the amount of information that has started to come out of the club. But one thing that they will do is they'll confirm or deny. So if you do ring them up and go, is there interest in this? They'll go, yeah. That's how we got the Metcha story when it came out before the day of his signing. This guy's in Leeds, anything to do with you. Yeah, we signed him for the club. Grand. And this one, they were like, no. So you can take that then as gospel as that's been the case. But one thing Gerry that did point out, and it was the introduction of a line that they weren't asked about. And that was Leeds expect this summer to be impacted by the World Cup, or the speed of signing players to be impacted by the World Cup. I thought that was fairly common sense, but also then when you think about it, it's a Leeds United transfer in this window. It's going to drag on anyway, isn't it? So it's just an interesting time of the year to start looking at these ones and seeing that one pop up and then drop off and then see where Leeds go from here. But just what are your thoughts on that as a topic this week, but also as we're just in general this summer window?
Yeah, we've gone early on the transfers and the highs and the disappointments. I think Ipswich have signed a couple of players already, but they probably have to start early. Usually when the club gets promoted, there's deals subject to get promoted. But anyway, that aside, and I think what I've learned this year is be patient and trust the recruitment. But we do need 4 or 5 marquee signings, I think, to come in and strengthen the team. The World Cup, will impact. I'm hoping we don't do classic thing of sign a player who's been brilliant in the World Cup, never heard of, and that's happened over the years a few times. Not Leeds, just generally. But I'm sure that they're not just saying after the West Ham game, we better look and see who's available. And I'm sure this is going on. The players they're in contact last year. I'm sure these players get tracked over 2 years. So the pressure's on because you got to get this right. You have to make sure not just the best players, best personalities to come in to a team, and someone will adapt. And be up to the physicality of the Premier League. It's not been the best Premier League, but we know it's physical. So good luck to them, and we've just got to be patient. When we get to the transfer deadline in August, hopefully we've done all our business, and maybe there'll be a bonus signing, and we're not panicking that we need 3 players in on that day and get to 7 o'clock in the evening and think, it's not going to happen, is it? Unless this mad thing. We've been through it. We know.
We've been through it.
Leeds are doing things different now. We're getting to cup semi-finals. We're playing well. Maybe we're going to do good transfer windows one day.
Just waiting for the first We Tried FC.
Oh, tweet. Yeah. Oh, yeah. All the experts.
Transfer window.
Yeah. And the guys out there, on good, one of my sources, one of your 6 followers has told you. As you said, there's certain people you look at and you know, this is real. Yeah. Nonsense. This is looking real. Or somebody else, you go, nah, you're not. You haven't a clue. You're just making it up. Yeah. We should just start a rumour. Let's start a rumour. Yeah. Harry Kane's coming to Leeds.
Square Ball did it a couple of years ago. It got Wayne did it, I think 2 years ago as well. He started one off and it got traction.
Who did the Square Ball do? Was it that ex-Man U player? What was it? No, there was... Can't think of the guy. He played for Forest as well. You can see his face. England international. Can't think of his name. Anyway, So just start a rumour.
Yeah, we'll see. Paul, what about you? Yeah. And come here, by the way, because you get the people that will start this. And I think we got to look at the last couple of transfer windows, and you got to look at this Leeds United side now and think, Darlow was signed by this recruitment team. So was Bogle. So was Justin. So was Gabby. So was Biel. So was Ampadu. So was Rodon. So was Okafor. Brandy wasn't. DCL was. Betcha was. Nanta wasn't. Yeah. The vast majority of the squad that has gotten us to this position in the league this season, and very close to mid-table as well, have come in from this recruitment team. So whatever they've been doing the last 2 summers, regardless of the winter windows not going exactly as we'd all would have loved it, hasn't really impacted us. But they've done a really good job in those 2 summer windows because the side is proving that. And I think, for me, they should have a bit more credit. I mean, Adam Underwood was called lots of names last summer. I think he can sleep quite easy at night now, knowing the players that he brought in made a huge impact this season. Same with Robbie Evans, made comments about we're confident in the model that we put together. I will say, not all of us were. I thought we had a decent window. I would have liked a 10. We got that in January. Less said about that, the better. But in general, I think they got a bit of credit in the bank, don't they?
Yeah, they do. We all want nice, new, shiny things. That's the typical way that we are. And the January transfer window is a prime example of where we all generally tend to get quite annoyed about it. It is important to note that that's probably one of the hardest times for anybody to buy players purely.
Understandable, though.
It is.
Squad was like 2 injuries and we're in trouble here.
Get it back up in, of course. I'm not saying that people's concerns and worries aren't valid. What I'm trying to do is do that kind of devil's advocate thing where you look at a Strand Larsen, a player who should be 35 million tops, pretty much, going for nearly 50.
25, I would have said.
Yeah, but that's the January market is massively inflated. It's hugely inflated because of the time of year that it is. People are desperate. People want players and the like. For me, saying that because of it being a World Cup window, that it's good. Obviously, we need to be patient with it. Of course, we need to be patient. But that, I know if you want to, me being Mr. Positivity, looking at it says that we're looking at international quality players. We're looking at bringing in that little level up that we want to do. So that could be part of the reason why it is. But we need to be patient. Unfortunately, these things do take time. I have no doubt that they have been working in the background now, particularly since getting to 43 points. There might have been conversations with agents where agents have turned around and said, once your Premier League survival is confirmed, then we can have a conversation, because at the end of it, that's the way that it goes. So it'll just be, we're going to be talking to the wall for a few months. We know that, because that's what it is. We're going to be, listening to you, Joe, with your news coming in and listening to the rumor mill side of things and what's happening and what's not. We're going to, all the local ITKs are all going to be coming out with all of the various information that just doesn't make any sense whatsoever at all. But we're all going to be on it. We're going to be on Wacko looking at who's saying what and what's Harry Crackling been saying today, all of that kind of stuff. So, but that's because we want the new shiny thing. We want it, and we want it yesterday, and we want one every single day until we start playing again. But that's not going to be the case. I would probably say 4 or 5 players that we're going to be looking at this summer, and that's what we need to potentially take us to the next level, which is what we need to do. But it's about patience. But the Morita thing, or as Mimosa, as I bizarrely called him in my video, no idea.
So your heads up.
It is, yeah. It was. Oh, I tell you what, the beer after doing the food kitchen thing last night was. I had a Corona with a proper like a really fresh lime in it, and it was just, it's just absolutely stunning. But yeah, the Morita thing, everything led to it being credible because of where the information was coming from. So you can, in some cases, you can only report what you know, and that's where we all. I'm not saying I'm a journalist. You're more of a journalist than what I am, Jer, because of the news that you bring out. But we all have a responsibility with followings on the channels that we have to try and disseminate that information, to look at it and go, right, okay, I need to just see if I can make all the dots marry up. And so he said this one said this one said, so I can get it all to kind
what's
of.
Their track record like is the best one. I mean, especially the lads on Twitter who aren't journalists in our IT case. I don't claim to be a journalist. I am not a journalist. I aggregate news. I've been very clear. That's all I do. But what I have been doing over the last 4 years is you start to get an eye for. I don't cover Football Insider, for example, at all, because they've got a 0% track record. There are people who swear by what they put out. 0%, right? We covered that 2 years ago, is why we don't cover them. The rest of them have got some level of hit rate, but I will always say the same thing. Pinch of salt. You just don't know what's going to happen. As soon as it gets more credible, we'll talk about it in more detail. I'll give it to you as we read it. I'll give you an opinion and we can decide what we think of it after that. But in general, at this point of the year, as everyone will say in the comments, until you see them in a Leeds United shirt, chance it's not going to happen or it's not true. Wait and see what happens. There are those out there who are far more reliable. It's not about being first. It's about being as accurate as you can and giving the information as accurately as you can. So you'll have to see. But I agree with you. I think 4 players this year. I think you're looking at 4. You might get a couple of freebies around the fringes as well. Yeah. But I think the squad is going to stay pretty thin. I think those that go out will be replaced with slightly better versions of them. And that'll be it. I don't see the base changing too much. But it'll be interesting.
It's not a major rebuild like the stadium.
No. No, it's the foundation is good.
Tweaking and upgrade. Yeah, tweaking and upgrade. Yeah.
I'll see if we get a couple of young lads through as well, because that's going to be interesting. That FIFA rule comes in 12 months' time around having an under 21 player. And somebody rightly pointed out, how can you have an under 21 player on the pitch at all times? What happens if 3 get injured?
Yeah.
What's your squad? How many do you have to have in your squad to actually work that? Because one has to be on the pitch at all times. So if one goes off, one has to come on. If they both get injured,
Yeah, we haven't had a youngster coming through for a while. I'd be interested of Harry Gray, how he fares next year.
There's a few around the edges that have trained though. Chris Chadwick, Ollie Pickles, Alfie Creswell, Jaden Lee, have all trained. Rory Mahadi as well from time to time.
It'd be good to see a couple coming through.
That loan spell for Harry Gray did him the world of good as well, actually. Getting the lumps kicked out of him a little bit, but just that'll do him stand him in good stead. He's got a bright future.
Yeah, he does.
Confident
give him time. Give him time.
Oh yeah.
Championship next year. All right then, folks. I think we'll wrap it up there. Massive thanks as always for supporting the channel. You can check out Paul over at the Leeds Therapy. You can check Gerry out at Talking Leeds podcast as well. Details for both of them are down below in the description. You can check them out on X, myself as well. All of our handles are down below here on the screen for those watching you. And again, just check out okjersey.com for 8% off World Cup shirts for World Cup summer using the code TView in your basket. And yeah, that'll be it for this week. And we might have a little bonus out over the weekend. Keep an eye out for that, but we'll have to watch along on Monday night over on bigup.com. Podcast will be out on Tuesday instead of Monday next week because of the game. And then we'll get back to a normal rhythm of things. So leave it at that, folks. Thanks very much for joining us as per usual. I'll talk to you soon. Enjoy your evening. See you. Bye.